Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another stream. So now I'm at a different location across the pond, and I'm I'm hoping the internet is uh, works well enough for the video quality. I'm not entirely sure. Um, I'm kind of just not connected through a cable anymore, and it's just through this little Wi-Fi USB plug-in adapter. And I'm just hoping that the quality coming in is decent. I was trying to check it out on my end to see how it looks, just out of curiosity. But Atlantica, hello. Maybe you can tell me how's it looking from 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 somebody else besides me. I was trying to see it on my end if it's at least on a see it on my end if it's at least on a see it on it looks oh yeah, it looks fine. So okay, that's great. Oh, thank you, thank you. I mean, I was hoping that the quality, at least on my end, the quality seems to be looking out okay. Um, I'm not sure if it comes in at 1080 with the current setup that I have for the OBS settings. I haven't looked at these in a while. If it's so it might be a little bit lower than before, but okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, so 720. I'm not sure if it was showing up as 1080 before. Um, like, because like I haven't set it up here on this computer, and I think the settings, at least for the output, or actually, should it be for video? Oh, okay. So I'm thinking it might be this one, the output scaled. I think it might scale it down to 1280 by 720. Let me actually think that I would have to stop it real quick to see if it's gonna come in a little clearer at or if it's gonna come through at 1080. So I'm just thinking if it works, if it looks okay on your end, then I'll keep it as is. I rather than cut it off. But I'm not sure actually. That's something to check back home as well when I get back stateside. If if I had it set at 720 uh, or or 1080. But yeah, so unfortunately, I since this was a lot of travel happening this week, I didn't get around to do too much. The one thing that I was looking into, and if you recall, we were looking at some of these objects here, and with my projects, there's like a ton of files, and the truth is, a large percentage of it is not used, and meaning that if you see down here, there's like a lot of stuff, a lot of folders. And what I was looking into is this little free plugin that is available on the marketplace, and it's this one. It's called Project Cleaner. So I'm trying to get a handle on this. I'm still uh, going through experimenting with it for a little bit. I'm running into some small issues like this part here, failed to scale the scan project. So trying to also work with the developer to see what they say about that, and that hopefully that'll be something that I can show off if anybody else is in my situation, or if your project is getting out of hand with, like, you've tried, like I have, maybe tried a ton of other packages just to see how things work, and you're stuck with a ton of them that you're not using. So this is what I want to try and use this for, and kind of use them as cautiously as possible. So hopefully, if you haven't tried this yet, I'm planning on trying this out, and I hope to get back to you with an update. and probably not next week, but the week after that. So I think it was going to be like the 30th of December. I'll try and do another stream as a follow-up. But yeah, this is a free package, and I like them like that. I'll see what can come of it. So as I was saying, I didn't get around to do too much. The good thing is that the project runs and runs in game mode on this new rig, and this one I think it's even older than the one. It's got a 1070 Ti, so I think it's the same generation, but I'm not sure. I think the Ti is a little bit better than the regular 1070, but the processor is something that's I can't tell. I was gonna say there's probably people watching the stream uh, that are older than the process, not older, but younger than the processor. It's like some, I think I was looking at the properties here, and it's like an i5 4460. So not sure how old that is, but I think it's at least in the 10 years or more. So yeah, it's definitely a low-end computer, I would say. It's low to mid-end when it comes to the processor side of things. And the one thing that I have noticed, and I'm not sure because I haven't made a change to my, I'm also on a different monitor, and visually speaking, on my end, things look better when it comes to reflections. I haven't changed. Oh, now that I'm looking at this, I'm starting to. Okay, so now I get it why it was running at around 16, around 20 frames per second, and why it looks so good. So that kind of explains it. It was on just on Epic settings. So this is, yeah, you can see there's a little bit more noise happening on just high. Because I was surprised that it was running quite a little bit less performant wise. So and yeah, something that I've done in after the last stream was finish up that little beach area. And I keep bringing up this IA scatter tool. Oh, hey, Miles, welcome, welcome. How are you? Welcome. And that's something that I think I've you'll see a bunch of these like hexagon icons all over the place for like sidewalks, streets, I don't know, like trash, everything. And another usage that I've mentioned with this is scattering decals. And I'll show you what I did on the beach here. So just turn down the volume. So on the beach here, this is not landscape material or anything because I didn't want. And don't mind this part here since I'm on a different computer. I think the water material has not been referenced to the new engine content from this computer, so that's why it's just looking, um, it's all, material-less. That's why it's just like that. So what I was saying is like all this stuff on the beach here is decals, and yeah, you'll notice that I've added a couple of things around here just to kind of give it a little bit of a beach kind of vacation location, so to speak, right? So yeah, I wanted to show you what I did for this one here, since this one is something that I didn't show in last stream, I believe. So as I was saying, last time I think we ended off with adding some of these kind of just debris pieces, kind of transition pieces from to kind of remove the contact edge between this ground and the cliff. And we ended up adding some of these around here. We didn't really do much. I think I had a couple of decals placed for the kind of the sandy areas on this little man-made beach. And the way I did that is with this IA scatter tool, which I mentioned that it does take it can take blueprint actors. So the way I did this is my blueprint actor, and I think I might have shown this type of actor before, is just a simple actor that itself on the construction script creates a decal. And let me see, where did that open? I know it opened it somewhere. Oh, there it goes. And this is the same type of work that I've used to add like, concrete patches on the roads and, kind of parking lot patches and other things this way. So it actually just has a decal and it on construction script it sets a decal material based on this little array where I have a couple of sand decals and that's how they get placed. So it just picks up a random integer between 0 and 1 and it sets that decal material. So what the IA scatter tool does is it spawns all these actors and each one of them, when it spawns, it's going to create a different, a different material. And basically here, if I just move this around a little bit, you'll see that some of these decals are, because this is pretty random. They get placed around here. So you'll get some areas of like some just stone. This is from the landscape, and some areas where the decals are in place. Of course, you can add, maybe more instances if you want some the tool to attempt to spawn more. As you can see, there's definitely not 60, but it's it gives you a pretty good uh, variety around this little beach area. So that way, kind of without it, it's pretty barren. I mean, yeah, these are just some of the decals that we were playing with, I think last week maybe, and I just need to remove them. So yeah, with that procedural tool, things work out a lot easier and uh, you know a lot easier to place things around and let's see, hopefully I can get back into here. Hey, Milky's, welcome, welcome. All right, so let me see. I keep forgetting which one is. Blender has like control, I think Alt H to unhide, and Unreal has Control H. So I keep messing them up. Okay, yeah, so that's what I wanted to show, kind of a usage of this IA scatter tool that I have, and not sure if anybody else is using it, but for me it's something that works out really well. And okay, so for today's stream, like I said, I didn't have a lot of kind of gameplay material to work on or show. So what I was thinking was to kind of try and finish off this little area here that goes towards this end of town. This one over here being, pretty much finished, I would say. There's like a little garage that blocks this end of the parking lot, and the diner is in place, the motel is in place, all these buildings are in place. They just need to be kind of finished off. But from like a blocking perspective, it's where I want things to be. Things like this, need to be finished. But other than that, everything is in place. So I was thinking, like I said, for this stream to clean this stuff up around here. There's like missing sidewalks and kind of not the I would say most glorious type of work to be done, but you know it's um, it's something that I enjoy doing as well. So that was what I was hoping to do during this stream. So let's jump into it. And as usual, you've seen me use this again, this tool. I keep on bringing it up, but as you can see, there's like all these hexagons around here, just because I do use it a lot, and I find it very useful. The one thing that is not very useful, unfortunately, and I don't think I wasn't able to figure it out if it's even possible to do it. So while it does have a spline, it's perfect when it's on a flat surface. But when things start curving, it doesn't work so well. So in the case of, like for example, I was hoping to use it on this guardrail, and I wasn't really able to. Like I said, maybe this is me not knowing enough about the tool, and not searching enough into it to make sure that the kind of the curve is right. And I know some of you probably have noticed this one here. I think it's just because of how sharp the bend in is in the landscape spline. So I'm still trying to see what might be best here. But what I ended up doing is for this guardrail, I ended up using a landscape spline. And that's totally, perfectly useful and to use, with something like this, when you have this kind of sidewalk going on. And I was definitely considering it, but for this section here, I've actually tried to make this pretty. I think I've actually used a ramp or something, so the terrain itself is pretty straight. So I think we should be pretty good to do it. And if not, the other thing that I've been using is just a regular spline. Now, the thing with the regular spline is that you have to be a little careful how far you stretch out the points. So let me kind of exemplify on that. And let me see, where is that window with the place actors? There you go. I kind of enjoy using this one versus the, kind of going through this sign here and getting plus, and I don't know where to look. Here I can just type in search. Yeah, so if I was to use just a regular spline, which is this thing that I've created some time ago, and so this one is pretty much, it's quite similar. I mean, it's a basic spline. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It does have a couple of options that I've added into, like an override material, and if it has the roll. So the roll basically, it right now it's only like a pitch and a yaw when it comes to the spline points, but it's also as a um, as a roll, kind of side to side, like think of a plane, and that's why I've had that in there. Hey, Maxim, welcome, welcome. Is it possible to add watcher? What do you mean by watcher? All right, so as you can see, in some cases, depending on the rotation of the spline, or the rotation of the mesh itself, these will be turned this way. And what I'm trying to do with that, I'm trying to adjust the forward axis and see if I can maybe make this work, but I'm not sure if this is going to work in for this particular mesh. As you can see, this one is over here. So yeah, it's going to work like this to extend it. And that's kind of on me, this little issue. But what I was saying when it comes to you need to be careful about the stretching is, so I have one point here and then I put another point. And as you can see, if I pull on this too much, it's gonna stretch the mesh. And you know the balance between each one of them is gonna get thrown off. And that's one thing that I do like about the IA scatter tool, that it takes care of that for you. The problem with it is, with the spline, I can do things like this. I can affect the actual curvature of the mesh with the, so it can turn into, well, I mean, I think I went a little overboard with that one, but you can make things like this. So like I was saying, kind of follow the terrain in a way. So see, this is what I was talking. Hey, Supun, welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, things are going really well. I mean, it's like this week hasn't been too much activity because, travel and visiting family for Christmas, but I was able to get my computer here working, get my project going on it, and actually do a stream. So I'm trying to be as diligent as I can and do them every week. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but yeah. So there we go. This is kind of what I was talking about with this with the regular spline. The only thing with this is that I think it's the my mesh that is not acting properly, or it also could be something related to how I've implemented this forward axis. And that's the only difficulty with this. It could have been that I could just maybe add something in here that to do a rotation on the mesh itself. And but I think that's not really the um, I'm probably just gonna have to do a little bit of digging into it. So for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this good old IA scatter tool. Oh, not everything is going well all the time, eh? Yeah, oh, that's true. That's true. Um, I think that's life. And we have to just go with it. All right. So let's just grab one of these pieces here. And actually, I'm noticing that this one could also use a little bit of TLC on this side. So we'll also bring that in. But for now, I just want to kind of place the item that I'm going to be working with. So one of them is going to be this. Let's keep it at 90. And I'm going to try and place this one. I think I've spent a little bit, uh, you know, to some extent, maybe a little bit too much time trying to make these work. But in the end, there's also, trying to build the tools for, future projects as well when you have something going on like this. And I think, I think it's time well spent, even though it might have taken me some time to do some of the things, but trying to get and this was, something I wouldn't say easy, but it's something needed that I wanted to have like a way to build, sidewalks and like it's called in the bare necessities of lifestyle come to you. That's kind of stuck in my head. I had to say it. But the bare necessities of building sidewalks and the kind of the groundwork of town living, so to speak. So yeah, it's kind of trying to get all these pieces, like corner pieces and kind of joint pieces, so that way it kind of flows one into the other. That was it was kind of a pet peeve of mine that I was trying to get done. Yeah. So, Supun, do you have any advice, bro, when we're creating a 3D environment in UE5? Well, it depends on your experience with UE5. I mean, if you've already been, uh, excuse me for 1 second, guys. I thought there was something at the door, but it looks like there's like a little bit of a sparrow outside the window. I think it made a little nest. So yeah, what I was saying is, I guess it depends on your level of experience. If you're just getting started, I would definitely look at, trying um, to follow some. some of the I think Quixel has some really good tutorials on creating, 3D environments. And there's also quite a few channels that take you through creating some of these 3D environments. And of course, it's a matter of, you know, gathering some assets as well. That's part of it. Creating some if you don't have them. Like in my case, I have a mixture of things that I've made, things from different packages that I've edited, um, things from, say, Megascans that I've ended up editing. Like this one, this sidewalk here is actually from a package, and I ended up bringing it into Blender and um, redoing the UVs so that I can use this Megascans texture. So yeah, it's um, like it's a combination, at least on my end. And so if you get comfortable with that, I think there's nothing that you can't do. Definitely. Hey, Mohammed, welcome, welcome, hello. And Faye, welcome, welcome as well. And but since I don't have any training, like any formal training or education in art or 3D creation, everything is just, self-taught and making things that I like, that's how I learned basically. I think it's a lot of it is just practice and repetition. So in the beginning, um, I'm looking at some of the things that I've done in the beginning, and I'm like, oh man, these looked horrible. So, and yeah, they're getting better. They're, I mean, they're looking better now. I've seen some other things, some things that look amazing, and I'm like, oh, my stuff looks horrible now. So, yeah, it's just a matter of practice. Blender, Substance Painter, and UE5 for my environment. Um, yeah, I mean, and that's very similar to what I use. Pretty much almost identical. I I use uh, Substance Painter to to redo like texturing and stuff on a variety of meshes, or for meshes that I do from scratch. I use Substance Painter. I also use a Quixel Mixer quite a bit because some of they have, I think they have more realistic textures that they use in their smart materials than some of the basic ones in Substance Painter. I also use like a really old Substance Painter, like before they got bought by Adobe. So that's why it's my material library is not as updated or as new as maybe somebody that's paying for the subscription. So yeah, exactly, Faye. I think mine is like 2018, or um, I think it's 2018 point dot something. And that's why I don't have like uh I definitely like that. I like the product itself. I was disappointed when they moved to Substance, but hey, that's their decision. So yeah, and in Substance you can create your materials, and I've done that quite a lot. Like I've done a lot of exporting textures from Blender, from Mixer, and creating the smart material in Substance Painter. But then again, I've done it. Um, I didn't overdo it. Like I think a lot of mostly recently, I've been using Substance Painter to just bake the materials, and uh, and that's it. So yeah. All right, there we go. So this is looking pretty good. And this is what I was saying, about the this tool in particular, like with the IA scatter, since it can't really, at least the way I have it set up, since it can't really follow the terrain, like bend the meshes as the regular spline tool, you'll see that they're like positioned a little bit off, so they kind of follow where they land on the surface below them. But that's not to say that this, I think it adds quite a bit of, it's also good on one hand because it adds a little bit of variety. It's not all just completely flat. So I think that's a good thing. The nice thing is also that it can add a little bit of a location, right? So I can do like maybe a -1 to a 5. So, just adding a little bit more of a variety in between the meshes. Kind of like what you would see in a city, right? Where there's like offsets and such. And, like the spline rotation, I can also do something around here. So basically what this one would be, I think maybe if we do like a -1, is it around the Y? Hopefully it's around the Y axis and I didn't spin anything. And something like that. Yeah, is it? Yeah, there you go. So this is what I was talking about. So you'll add a little bit of a shift in the various pieces of the sidewalk. Okay, so yeah, if you want to have a better quality in baking, I highly recommend Marmoset. Yeah, Marmoset, I've heard good things about it, but I can't recall last time I've checked it is I believe they had like also like a pricing thing, so they were pretty expensive if I recall correctly. I can't say for sure, but last time I remembered them, they had a pretty kind of some price going with them. Yeah, monthly subscription and a perpetual. Yeah, so that's why I kind of like um, sticking with what I have at the moment. I don't really do any kind of fancy baking or anything like that. Let's just suppose, do you have any ideas about optimization, LOD, stuff like that? Um, yeah, I mean, there is again, and I'm referencing, YouTube tutorials and all this. It depends on what you want to build this for, and it's if it's just for like a showcase type of thing, then I would say that you don't really have to worry about LODs. Unreal is pretty powerful. But yeah, if you want to make a video game, you might want to think about that. Nanite is kind of taking, you don't really have to think about LODs anymore. But if you're not using Nanite, like I'm not using Nanite because it brings down performance quite a bit for me. And I'd rather not rely on it. Also from kind of the perspective of how large the project is going to get with Nanite. So for now, I'm not using that, so I rely on LODs. But yeah, there's definitely things on YouTube much better than what I can tell you about LODs. I usually generate them in Unreal because Unreal can generate the LODs for you, and then you can adjust like how far away you want this LOD to be applied and how many polygons, uh, um, how many polygons you want this LOD to be. Yeah. So awesome, bro. Are you using packed level actors for the building? So packed level actors. I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. I'm sorry. And I was looking at how City Sample was made with such detail. They're running a script on the buildings that essentially make each building a packed level act and all the module pieces. Oh yeah. So what my plan is for these buildings, like right now, if you look at one of them, it's actually just one mesh. So so basically one actor, right? And when it comes to using world partition, it only has to load one actor. And I still need to optimize it further to kind of reduce some of the materials on it. But yeah, I think the city sample, I'm not sure if they have like it's like modular buildings and they're running their thing um, to kind of pack them into a hierarchical instance thing. So yeah, that kind of I think that goes a little bit over my head, but sorry, I can answer you more. But this is how I'm setting these up. So basically, given that I have word partition, I have, you know, um, and I think this would be better exemplified with a building with interiors, right? So I have this one asset here that's going to be on a grid that renders from far away, right? Because you want to see it. But then when you come to the interior, right? When you come to the interior is going to be on a grid that is going to be, um, loaded up close. And I was showing this in the last stream for like the interior of the of the diner, right? So the diner interior, right now I have it set up in their own little levels, like level instances, right? So the level interior, this one is on a runtime grid that I called it small assets. So the small assets, if you go, I believe it's in world settings. One second, I'll just go there. So if you use world settings, you'll have a number of grids here. So I think, let me see which one was this one. Foliage, large assets, medium assets, and small assets. So small assets right now it's at a 5,000 distance loading range. And so that's how I'm handling the trying to, hold, keep the performance as best as possible. And, this is me just scratching the surface. I haven't gotten any farther. For me, CD sample is running poorly. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because Nanite. Because like on my computer, Nanite um, runs like when I turn on Nanite, I lose another 10 frames per second. I don't know why, but that's on my end. So I think the way they do it for those buildings is pretty cool. The complexity behind it for me working on this as a single person is pretty big. And yeah, so I'm trying to keep things as simple as possible. Um, awesome, bro. Hopefully that gives you an answer um, to how I do it at least. And Rayside, what about the Lumen global illumination? It costs a lot. Is there a way to optimize the game without getting bothered about Lumen? So right now, let's take a look. Actually, take a look at this scene here. So for example, this one, as you can see, has Lumen, and right now I'm running on a scalability of high. And this scene, this computer is pretty outdated. It's a 1070 Ti. I'm not sure, like first gen or something. I'm not. I think it's like in its 8 years old or something. I can't even know how old this thing is, and like a really old i5 with 16 gigs of RAM. And I think at the moment this runs at around, let me close some of these. I'm not sure. It runs a lot poorer on this computer than on my home computer, even before I upgraded my home computer. But it normally runs around 30 frames per second, 30 around 30 to 40. This one, like I said, I'm on a different computer. I actually just managed to fire up the project, so I'm not sure why it's like performing at half of that. My processor before upgrading was an i5 as well, like one of those for 35, 3790, something like that, like a really old i5. And it was still running at around 30, 30 to 40 frames per second. And again, with very little optimization that I'm doing at the moment. So, this is with Lumen, but if I was to turn off lumens, I believe, let me see, which one was, give me 1 second. I need to check real quick. What was the config for the lum to turn off lumen on and off? And let me see, where was that? I need to find that config file just to copy that command. Uh, which is, again, it's kind of a silly thing because like the R dynamic global illumination is not the one that is being used as a command in here, but it is when you have it in the config files. So I'm not sure what that's about, but um, I think it was stat, some not stat, but yeah, if anybody in the chat remembers what that command is, let me try and do a quick Google. Um, Maybe it's gonna come up with something from Unreal or something like that. Um, I wish they had it. If you search for CVAR, it's nothing there. Yeah, so my apologies. Let me see, where was that? At least I can show you how it looks without Lumen, but trying to figure out if where I had that the interior post-process volume here. So from a performance standpoint, Lumen would normally give me on my home computer um, about 6 to 7 frame rate increase. So let's do, was it none? Yeah, and then none here. Actually, no, let's do screen space. And it looks pretty good without it as well. But as you can see, um, there's not that much change because I think it's a project setting that like that CVAR that I need to adjust. So that might be why. So I'm just gonna switch back to Lumen, and actually screen space looks pretty good around here as well. And also this is a pretty big impact on performance when it comes to the reflections. And of course, screen space doesn't have the noise that that Lumen has. Like Lumen has that really nice kind of look. Like it's like proper reflections, right? If you look down here, you see the reflection on the table. If it's screen space, yeah, that thing is gone. You have to like look up now, and then there it shows up, which is not a big deal, but yeah. I noticed lighting and shadows interiors in the Dead Island when staying without losing too much performance. Yeah, well, I think Dead Island had baked lighting. I'm not entirely sure because I don't think they made it on UE5. At least I don't at least I don't think so. And and that's why, because excuse me, the performance was also amazing. And yeah, their interiors and shadows were really awesome. And I think I was trying to replicate, since you played Dead Island, I was trying to replicate that hotel lobby from like Ocean Avenue, I think was the level, and I couldn't really get it anywhere close with Lumen. And you know, of course, there's also the immense amount of details that they have in those scenes. So, that coupled with really good lighting makes that scene really look amazing. But but I think it might be baked lighting. So, because in the end, that's how you get some really good performance with the amount of details they have in there. Another thing is the levels are pretty small. Like, because if you recall, to go from like area to area, you have the loading screens, right? So if you go from like the Hollywood Hills, you go to Miami Beach or something like that. I think the biggest one is the one, not Miami Beach, but the Venice Beach. I think the one with the Venice Beach is probably the biggest because it has that, the little town area and then that beach area with with the amusement park. So I think that might be a slightly bigger map. But all the other ones, they seem pretty small, like maybe 1 by 1 kilometers. And I mean, if you look at the distances, they're also, to your objectives. So that also helps with performance, having that map be the maps being smaller. And I could potentially see with that small of a map, some real-time lighting used, but I think they might have gone with baked. Don't I mean, this is just my, you know, really not working in the industry dude, just working on his little passion project opinion. That was a long long word, but yeah. So as you can see, my performance right now is pretty poor. I just hide it. I hid that because this computer is not really doing it at the moment. But and I've also another thing that I've noticed is the processors being about the same with the one that I previously had in my other computer is um, this one runs worse. I'm not sure why, but it just does. I need to check on because it puts out a lot of heat, so I'm not sure if there's something like in the fan or something. It's just uh, why it's running poorer than the other one that I had, which I think had an older processor as well. So yeah, they did an amazing job, and I kind of, because I'm kind of cheap. I waited until it came out on sale, and I was so happy that I got it. Like, after I got it, I was thinking, oh man, this was totally worth I think it was like $60 or something like that. So I think that's one of the problems nowadays. They use some people still do, like they make demos, for games where you get to play like maybe an hour or an hour and a half, something like that. But nowadays, a lot of, you know, game development companies, they just think that, oh, you know what, they're just gonna buy the product because, social media tells them, because, the ads tell them, because some guy that streams, the video game tells them, and which is great advertisement, seeing somebody play the game. But then, in the end, you're the one paying for it, so you want at least to try at least 1 hour of it, which I, to me, for me at least, as a consumer, I was definitely more inclined to buy a game when I was able to play a demo than now. Like, take for example, Dead Island 2. They lost like half of the money when I bought it on sale. I could have been like uh, one of the people buying it when they released it for $60. But they had no demo, so I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of cool, but I'm just gonna wait for a sale because. But now after playing it, I I would have paid full price. Because I really enjoyed it. It was a very fun game. But yeah, they there was no game, there was no demo. I wasn't able to try it out, at least, you know a small part of it. You don't have to share the half of the game, but that half an hour, 30 minutes, that would have made the difference for me in deciding to spend a whole $60 on it versus I'm gonna wait for a sale because they're gonna happen eventually. Yeah, game nowadays and optimized. Just look at what happens with. Yeah, I've seen some of the comments on those projects, and that's in the back of my mind, that's definitely a fear to some extent for me. Kind of not being able to get something that works decently on even like more older computers. So that's why I'm gonna still develop this on my 1070 because that being, kind of low end to mid level, somewhere in between in that area. If I can squeeze, half decent frame rate on that, I'm sure that people that have a modern computer will play that easy at a good frame rate. And so yeah, that's uh, one of my hopes. Okay. Well, so I have to be honest, this section here, I don't have um, a lot of plans for it. My idea was to kind of put an alley, like a little driveway in between here, but then this one being on a different level, I'm gonna have an attempt to see how it would look with one of these behind it, and maybe cut out that middle section, or that middle section here, kind of get rid of this. Let's take a quick try. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So so we'll see. Any thought about the finals? Did you play it? What is the finals? I haven't heard of it. And my apologize if that would have been something that people are gonna be, what? You didn't know that one, what that one is? But unfortunately, I haven't heard of that. Yes, I think what I'm gonna do is like this. So this section is gonna go towards this end here, so where kind of the flat area starts. And then this building, along with the interior, let me see if I can select the interior. Oh, I see. Last arcade game with a mix of Overwatch, Counter-Strike, Valorant. Um, that's a good question. I actually don't play multiplayer video games, so I couldn't tell you. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I think this is how this section is gonna be with and this back here is gonna be coming from this side of the street. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Let's no, where is it? Oh, that's awesome because I've like just recently, wasn't there like what was that game that was um that was canceled maybe after 2 days it got released? That was like some kind of a big scandal with the developers that they kind of, took the money and run, so to speak. What was the name of it? It literally just the day before. Yeah, there we go, Reside. Um, the day before, yeah. I've seen that on the news and I'm like, oh my God, what did these idiots do? Because that's, I think it's a bad look on, on everybody. You know, like say I'm trying to make a video game and, there comes some of these people that they take advantage of, somebody that might have been invested in that game, might have, bought it. They were like excited about it coming out and um so yeah, that was I'm not sure if there was any backstory to it or what the heck, but yeah, it seemed like I was looking at some of the reviews on on Steam and oh my God, I'm like, okay, this is well deserved. If you guys pull this off, pull this kind of thing, then, you know, you deserve this. Yeah, they were not a AAA studio. Oh, yeah, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so that's the thing, um I didn't know a lot of or any of the backstory, so I didn't really I was talking to some friends about it and I was like I didn't really want to comment on that. So I really don't understand why they did something like that. Well, I think, they're probably not the first ones to do it. Definitely, they're probably not going to be the last ones to do it. It's, um, what I'm wondering is um, if they did it the, I'm not sure how to say it, but if somebody pushed them into doing it, like they had something like a kind of a contract with like a publisher or something, and those people were pretty small as well, and they're like, okay, you got to release now or else. So they did that. Um, oh, they have a story, the history of that. Oh, ouch. Yeah. Well, that's. Oh shoot. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that's one of the things, like uh I've Crytek was going through the same process at one point, and that's why I kind of decided to drop CryEngine. That was one of the reasons why I dropped CryEngine as well, or at least I lost interest that they weren't paying their employees. So I hate when that happens. I hate the type of I've heard this saying from some dude I watch on Instagram, that talks about like labor stuff and all. And I'm kind of tired of working for, attaboy type of people, like you get an attaboy from them. No, 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 I need a paycheck, not an attaboy. So it's great that they had the passion and that they put it into the project, but you know, unfortunately, if I had the passion if I'd make money just from the passion of working on this project, I wouldn't have to work a day job. But unfortunately, yeah, that's not how it is. Yeah, oh, that's totally fine. That's totally fire right there. If you're good at something, don't do it for free. Yeah, indeed. Oh, so they also failed on the long-term investor. Sorry, Resat, I just saw your comment now. Yeah, that's hard. All right, so how do we want to handle this little bit here? There's another coming with big ambitions, gain once human. Yeah, that's I think so. There was since we were talking about this, there was another project that I was kind of excited about because it was coming out on CryEngine, and the developer was promising like 1,000 players on a map or something ridiculous like that. And they kept showing they showed very little videos. Like they had a really good pitch on the project. I think it was called like Mavericks or something like that. And things were looking it was looking pretty interesting, from like the development, and a lot of people were like, kind of, backing them up, and they got a lot of money from backers. But kind of when the rubber hit the road, and also kind of the technology was didn't really do it either. They they had to shut down, and a lot of people were very pissed with that as well. They were able to issue refunds and such like that, but a lot of people were like uh, thinking that, oh yeah, this is gonna be something amazing, like 1,000 players on a map. Nobody has done it before. But yeah, I was kind of skeptic, as a as somebody that was using CryEngine, you know, I was a little skeptic at the time that I'm not gonna hold my breath that this is gonna happen, and unfortunately it didn't. But that was also part money, part many things. So yeah. All right. Well, I think this combination here, kind of going behind the building, should be should be fine like this. And let's see, what I wanted to do is lock this here. And for now, I think I might delete this. Or actually, no. Let's keep it in place. And I think that's, just like with my project, I hate to like do Kickstarter or things like that, because uh, I in the end, I don't want to end up, God forbid something happens, right? Um, and oh shoot, I did not want to ungroup it. Can I regroup it? So every time, I think once you start involving money, things get dicey, especially when you're like an indie developer. I totally get it that some people, that's their main job, right? Like they rely on some funds from like Kickstarter or like investors or anything like that. And but it's also tough, once a project gets canceled, um, you know, how do you how do you market yourself after that? The publisher refused to pay them and it's running anywhere. Well, at least they're refunding people. Hey, Supun, welcome. So, thank you so much for stopping by, bro. Have a good night. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 1:37 is pretty late. We're actually, I think we're gonna go for another 40, 50 minutes here as well. So I'm gonna turn in because it's actually 11, or for me, getting close to 11 as well. Uh, yeah. So Atlantica decided not to use crowdfunding for two reasons: the negative press and videos about it. Yep. I wanted to create my dream. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the exact same thing. Like a copy paste for me as well, where I want to make something that I wanna do, and um, have fun with it, right? All right, well, let's see. How can we bridge this little gap here? Kind of, oh, actually, I already have this graph, this done over here. So this, since this is kind of like a sidewalk anyways, we'll just complete it to this end. And let's do like that. There you go. Well, yeah, I mean, and yeah, exactly. You just have to you just have to say the Minecraft name, and there you go. Yeah, I don't want to be rich either, but it's gonna help. All right, let's see. How do we want to add this in here? I don't think this covers it really well. So let's use subdivided cube 2 by 2. Let's see how this looks. Whoops. Yes, I mean he didn't expect Minecraft to expand. He wanted to. Yeah, that's cool. You know, that's um, you have to give it to him. You know, it was I I um, I have to be honest with you. Like I did not expect Minecraft to be this big because you know, like it's not the type of game that I play. But then again, that goes with a ton of other games. So, oh, once human, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, wasn't there like a game that recently got released not too long ago, and it was extremely popular? Is it like also made by one developer? And I cannot put my name on my finger on his name, but I think it came out like very recently. So yeah, that's so cool when you get some of these projects that are um, you know, passion projects and they turn out to be this big. Well, and you know, another one comes to mind, Choo Choo Charlie. Not sure if you guys heard of that. That's also made by like a single developer, and it was um, it was extremely. I think it sold like a lot of copies, at least from just you know watching what's on the amount of reviews on Steam. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool, you know. And again, you know, kind of a simple concept that you're like, wow, that thing was just really cool and really fun to play. So, you know, there you go. All right, what's going on over here? Because the gameplay I watched had a lot of details. But oh, were you talking about Reside? Were you talking about Once Human? Yeah, and I think Atlantica. I think that was the one that I had in my mind that was created by one dev, the um, the Once Human game. Starry Studios. Okay. Then so that's not the one that I'm thinking of. That's the one person team, right? Was that a different one? Because every anytime there's like one of those things coming out, that's impressive no matter what. I'm so happy to see those. Nice. Um, is I wanted to ask, is anybody here like a fan of Frostpunk? Or has anyone heard of Frostpunk? Uh, I'm just asking because like I'm a huge fan of that game. Oh, hey, Rob Trucks. Frostpunk is actually a like a city building type of game, but the premise itself is really cool. The it happens like I think there's like I'm not sure what generates the event, but the Earth starts cooling down, and everybody starts moving north, and kind of counterintuitively, but they're able to set up these kind of towns in these like open crevices, like big open crevices, and your purpose is to keep your citizens alive. You build the generator to keep heat. You set up laws, like child labor. Um, you have to set up cemeteries because people get sick and they die. And kind of that's the purpose of the game to go through that period and end up with, you know, living population once it's done. And so yeah, it's I wasn't really a fan of these types of games before like Frostpunk. But you know, after I played the first one, I was hooked. Like I don't think I've played or maybe Mad Max. Excuse me. I think I've played as much, but that was it was a really fun game. Let's see, I think I might want to delete that and just keep them like this. I'll need to figure out something for that along there. So yeah, the second one, I'm really excited about the second one because that one looks amazing as well. And it's like I said, I love the first one. So yeah, the second one, I mean, it looked impressive to be honest. Yeah, so check out the first one. If, like I said, I'm also a person that it's like I'm a fan of like shooting games and that kind of stuff. You know, like I like first person shooters. But with Frostpunk, I was just I'm not sure what really caught me. Like from you know, kind of just to play the game. Um, but it was it was instant. So I'm trying to see how I can get a thing in here, like the little driveway entrance. I think if we get this done, I should be pretty happy today. So it's whether like this one is gonna be starting here, and then instead of this, just gonna use like the corner to place it there. Hmm. Yeah, Rob Trucks. I'd love to hear you because I'm not necessarily promoting that game, but it's something that I really enjoyed playing, you know, because it's like the most different kind of game that I've played from you know, from my kind of variety of games. Hey, Raysade, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. But yeah, until then, if you celebrate Christmas, hope you have a Merry Christmas. All right, well, let's see what's happening here with this. The corners are like my Achilles heel, well, so to speak. But you know, trying to get this to work with this piece here. I'm trying to think what I did on this side because these ones, oh, actually, it's sunken in a little bit more. Hey, Rob Trucks, are you trying to learn UE5? Yeah, it's a fun little thing to do. Or I wouldn't say, why would I say little? It's an awesome thing. Um, like I love Unreal. I I'm a big fan. And coming from like I said, different engines, it's I am definitely appreciating what CryEngine brings. So, hey, Mizun, welcome, welcome. How are you? So what's confusing you about UE5? Maybe we can help out a little bit and just clear some of that out. All right, how do we want to do this here? So this one is kind of placed it under this. Oh yeah, that's what I did. Okay. So I'll try and do the same thing here. So we'll try and bring it out here to there. And I hope that should, we hopefully will trick this into kind of placing them, kind of just as close as possible. Okay, like that, that could work. Yeah, because I totally understand. Like when I came into CryEngine, oh, sorry, from CryEngine to Unreal, it was, I wouldn't call it necessarily a shock, but it was very different. The world building was quite different, though a lot of the concepts were the same. So I did have, I would say, maybe a little bit of practice in CryEngine, so it made it slightly easier for me to transition to Unreal. But if it's your first game engine, mm, have you, like I usually recommend people YouTube because not because I'm streaming on YouTube right now or anything, but I've found it definitely a really good resource um, for 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 tutorials, and there's like a ton of information on Unreal, and it's I think it's the best place to get started with it. And also, like if you um, if you join some like Discords, and like we have a Discord here on uh, for folks that kind of joined the development of my project here. And sometimes, we're able to, we get some folks that have questions, and as best as we can, the folks taking part in some of these streams and, in the Discord channel, we're able to assist, you know, maybe not to the point of, sometimes I jump on calls with some folks, and I kind of just quickly show them a little bit of how to do something maybe simple, or and but if they have like questions, uh, people try. I think it seems like the game development community is a very friendly, very I would say open community to people learning, and trying to get started with game development. So it's I think a Discord channel is also helpful for people learning the engine. And yeah, I think just asking. Usually some people are um, maybe they're there are people that there are some people that might be a little bit shy about asking, or maybe they don't feel comfortable. But yeah, it's um, they're they're always welcomed. There we go. I think that's what I wanted to use here. So we have a little bit of a curb going on. Let's push these back a little bit. just like that. There you go. Yeah, oh, I'm currently watching a 2 hour Star tutorial. That's perfect. That's how you start. That's how you and that's how you learn basically, you know. So what I'm working here is actually a video game project. It's called just like the name of the stream. It's called On Your Own because I am working on it on my own. Not that that's how I came up with the name of it, but as the player, you know, it's a single player game and it's an adventure, action adventure type video game. You know, kind of a little bit of how the game starts. So the game starts with you getting into this world via like a flight sequence. You know, yeah, it's been used. You know, we've just talked about Dead Island 2. They use it in Dead Island 2. Um, the Forest, I believe, has that. Um, what is it? BioShock has that. There's probably a ton of other ones that I can't think of. And so the way with mine is, you know, you have this this kind of this 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 flight path, you know, with your plane, and then you have a malfunction, and you start, you know, the plane is about to crash. So along this path, you get the option of three jump points. So basically, there's going to be a jump point around this area here, which is going to start you off with different missions in the beginning. There's going to be one around the town, and there's going to be one around the dam area here that has like some other things underneath. So depending on where you choose to jump out of the airplane, you're going to start the game with different missions, right? In the end, they're all going to converge, so to speak. But it's and you know, once you land, you get your first mission, and then you have to start, you know, discovering what happened in the game, basically. So that's just a little bit of how things start. You made that all on your own. Well, let me. How should I explain this? So this project, in a way, is like Frankenstein because there's like I use a lot of things from like the marketplace. I use a lot of things that I made myself. I use a lot of things that I might have bought somewhere else. Then I made tweaks, changes, edits, and then I brought into the project. So, but you know, like for example, this particular map, the outline of it is from a marketplace package where the height map was already in. Then the trees are from a different package that has these tree assets. The material itself is a mixture of a material that I made for a tutorial, for a terrain tutorial on this channel, and a material from the same package that had the trees. Then there's like Megascan assets that I change shaders to, you know, to kind of suit my needs. Um, you know, the functionality itself is also a combination of, you know, I'm talking about gameplay, right? You know, like I use this advanced locomotion system that it's a free package on the marketplace that I ended up tweaking quite heavily to adjust for, you know, my weapon systems and, you know, interactions and the like. So so yeah, I did all the put together, so to speak, along with, you know, kind of the blueprint setup and coding for for those blueprints. And then of course, you know, like building things like this. Like for example, these buildings I've made from scratch myself, you know, in Blender. What you'll notice is that is using these cornices. These are from Megascans. So combining those together. I also use things from Sketchfab. So for example, this is a Sketchfab asset that unfortunately I don't remember the name of the developer, but these are always they're going to be mentioned in the credits. Um, so yeah, you know, like for example, this fountain is also from there. Um, putting things together, that's all me. But yeah, like I said, I didn't build like literally everything from scratch. That's impossible. But I do have, we do have the luck of having this awesome marketplace, which is extremely useful. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to add is these joints here don't look so good. So let's add them up and make them look a little bit more like we have them over here where things are kind of done. So this particular decal is really awesome. And Rob, this is kind of how I got experience with Unreal. Doing these things. I've um, I've learned a lot. Like so that's yeah, that's definitely one way to do it is by mixing things up and seeing, like in my case, this worked, so oh wait, I'm happy with this. And yeah. And after a while you get kind of the experience of choosing how to do certain things. So that's also very helpful. Mm, I'm not sure how I feel about this one, to be honest with you. Let me try something here. This one is not on an angle, neither is this one, so they're flat. So I'm gonna try and do something like this. Hopefully I'm not gonna push the scale too much, like to make it look. Now that I'm thinking of it, let's see. Okay, I think that comes into quite well, actually. Yeah, I think that might just work like that. I'm gonna keep it like that to remove these decals. I mean, I'm still gonna keep one just to add a little bit to this edge here. Um, oh, so I've seen your message. If you want me, I can answer to that. I've been using Unreal for about um, closing in on 5.5 years. So basically, that's when I started this project as well, 5.5 years ago. So, um, considering the the learning curve, implementing kind of the mechanics that I wanted to have in CryEngine into Unreal, that took some doing as well. But you know, everything is. I don't think anything is not doable if you're not gonna. You just have to, you know, just do it, right? Is that um, the Nike thing? Just do it. Oh well. I would not say 5 years. You gotta factor into this the fact that I do have a day job, so this was to some extent less than part-time for me. But yeah, I don't wanna sugarcoat it for you. You know, it will take time. You have to be, doesn't it's not um, you can't really just, snap your fingers and um, and it's gonna be, you're gonna know Unreal. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I really don't want to do, like I don't want to um, you have to be patient, right? So hopefully that's, I don't want to, I definitely don't want to discourage you. That's definitely not what I want to do, but I want to kind of set expectations, right? So it's, and everybody learns different, like I'm far from mastering Unreal. Um, there's people that I know, I have friends, that they say that, oh yeah, no, I'm working in a development company and I'm still I still don't know Unreal. So it's that's the thing, you have to be the main thing is you have to be patient. Yeah, um, because I think so. Here's my take on it. The if it's going to be hard in the beginning, let me put it this way, and um, because it was hard for me as well. I was I definitely had moments where I had frustrations, and it's like, why isn't this working like CryEngine, for example? But after I spend the time, I I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it, kind of in that regards. So um, and the nice thing, and I kind of bring this up quite often when I'm working on this project is um, one of the cool aspects about, not that I promote this in any way, so this is just my experience. One of the cool aspects about working by myself is that one day I'm doing this, like what I'm doing here in the stream, and I usually during the streams I mostly do level design because it's something that it's a little bit more interesting to watch. But you know, outside of that, I might have a day when I'm doing um, the kind of the gameplay programming or like, the mechanics. There might be days where I'm working on some of the audio, or I'm thinking of, okay, how can I adapt this portion here to account for the story? So that's um, that's totally how I'm doing this. That way I don't get bored. Like there's like multiple. If I think of it, if you think of it, I think out of all the technical stuff out there, game development covers probably one of the widest variety of topics. You have, you have programming, you have audio, you have design, you have, graphics, you have, um, and that's just to think of a few. So, that's why I don't get bored with it, doing multiple things. That might not work for everybody, but for me at least, it's that's what's fun. Patrick, hello, hello. How long it take a small open world third-person shooter game, you think? Well, it depends. A lot of it depends on how much functionality you want to have in place. Also, if you want to build everything from scratch yourself, or you want to, like myself, kind of cherry pick or, pick some packages from here or there to achieve your goal. And also depends on, what the story is, if it's like like a horror game that has the player moving from one place to the next and, going through some of these, dealing with some monsters and some other things like that. That could be more complex, or simpler. So it's really hard to tell how long it would take. Um, and also, a lot of it depends on the amount of time you have to invest in it. Like if you have a day job like I do, and some of us on this stream have, you're gonna work on it in your spare time. So that's gonna take away. But I would factor in like the years. It definitely be done in shorter time. Again, depending on the scope of your project, because the scope of the project is the main deciding factor. That is the biggest deciding factor is the scope of your project. So the Khan, unfortunately, I think if that's Turkish, I can't read Turkish, so I'm sorry. Yeah, Atlantica, that's definitely true. And yeah, so see, like Atlantica Words is the same, and he's been joining the streams quite often. Thank you so much. And you know, there you go. It's another example of somebody, working on their projects and also, by the way, you should look it up because if you, I think Atlantica, if people use that, your um, if they click on your link, right, or they have to, I think they have to look up Atlantica World on YouTube, and yeah, Atlantica Worlds, sorry. So that's some awesome, planetary type flight sim. What would you call your project, Atlantica? It's um, if you think you guys, if you think of like Starfield or I think that's what it is, like Starfield, right? Um, or yeah, there you go, seamless space game. That's awesome. Along with, but you have to mention the fact of, like the planetary landings and like the jetpack, flying around on the planets. So it's just awesome. Like if you guys check some of his videos, they're they're pretty amazing. Um, so Patrick, can you build games only with Unreal Engine? Yes, you can. Like I literally the only things that I use is Unreal Engine and Blender. If you want to, create some custom modeling and stuff like that, you might want to use Blender or some kind of 3D modeling tool. And sometimes I use Substance Painter or Quixel Mixer to texture things if I want something custom. Yeah. So let's see the con. I want to Unreal Engine. That's very hard for me. Well, it's definitely anything is hard in the beginning, and I don't want to turn into like a motivational speaker in any way. But anything. Uh, let's put it this way: anything worth doing is hard. I'm not sure where I heard it from, but yes, anything worth doing is hard. And um, I am so hyped right now. I want to be a game development. But but yeah, in the end, that's that's the whole thing. It's you um, you have to understand that you have to put in you have to put in work. That's that's for damn sure. I'll tell you this much. You'll have to put in work. But once you start getting results, and just like I was, um, I'm like, when am I gonna see, start to see some results out of this? But I had kind of a plan going as to what I wanted. I've started putting pieces together, so now I have quite a lot of mechanics and kind of the backstory already pretty much all filled in for the game. And yeah, there's some areas that I still need to build, like this town. But other than that, is mechanics wise is almost, excuse me, is almost there. So yes, it did take me a while. So that's, one of the things to be aware of, especially, and again, it very much depends on your circumstance and how much time you can put into something. But but once you get going, I tell you this much, once you get going and you get comfortable with the tool, it everything is much easier. And like Atlantica said, yeah, there's like a Discord server. I think it might be in the comments for this stream. So feel free to join it. Um, you can ask questions. There's a few of us there that try to check it at least once a day and maybe at least point you in the right direction if you have some questions. Oh, so the con, I need your help. What about my dude? Tell me. So Rob Chalks, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. I and That's one of the reasons that I stream, right? It's kind of, building up an audience and hopefully, get people to be interested in the project because, like I said, it's a passion project. I really enjoy working on it, and I'm super happy to share it with folks. All right, well, this one actually turned out quite okay, and now that I'm looking at this, I think I might be able to use this little piece over here to actually make them join together. Oh, I can't understand what you say because my English is bad. I'm so sorry. Um, yeah, and that's a difficulty because um, actually, let me know. Are you Turkish? Because I might know some people that live in Turkey that are also, in game development. So at least that way, maybe they could help you out a little bit better than what I can. But let me know if I was right about that. Okay, Turkey, yeah. I first let me say teşekkür, right? Hopefully I said that right for joining the stream. And let me try and if you want to join my Discord, I believe actually even on my Discord there might be somebody from Turkey that that I know from the CryEngine days, and I think they might be using Unreal now. So hopefully they'd be able to help you a little bit better, in Turkish, because I don't know Turkish. Hey Miles, Miles, I believe in you. There you go. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's and guys, don't get. That's one of the main things that I try to say is don't get discouraged. It's it's a process. The whole kind of the whole game development. It's a process. It's you have to be patient. All right, there we go. That looks a little bit more seamless, as much as it can be. But since we were talking about that Dead Island, yeah, Dead Island 2, that was one of the things that impressed me quite a lot is how well they did everything when it comes to like the civil engineering of the world, like the sidewalks, all these kind of, things that you don't really think about much, but yeah, I was really impressed by how that looked. All right, so before I end the stream, because I'm running out of voice here. Uh, I'm really happy to have so many new folks on the stream and our usual suspects, so to speak. But yeah, what I wanted to, I just wanted to finish this off here real quick by doing this one last sculpt of the terrain to bring it back in here and maybe setting the kind of the foundation for this one building here. So let's see how that's going to turn out. I wanted to actually get a sample of here and then try to sculpt this to kind of make this the parking lot area over here. And then excuse me, this one's going to be the parking lot for this building. And what I want to do is from here on, I wanted to make a quick ramp with the terrain. Going from here to here, and let's bring this up to about there. Maybe actually, let's pull this in a little further. And there we go, like that. So that way this area is going to be like a parking lot for these two buildings back here. I am trying to, even though this city is not picked off of any reference city or anything like that when it comes to like the arrangement of the streets, as you can see, it's as basic as it gets, like kind of a main street and then two side streets over here. But yeah, what I wanted to um, you're holding no, and that's the thing, some people, I've had folks ask questions and such, but that's I don't mind that at all because one of the main reasons that I do streaming and try to make tutorials when I have time is to hopefully grow the community one for once, and even if say in the end like the goal is um, to sell this project, and hopefully make a living off of it. Uh, if I end up just helping somebody out with whatever they're doing, I'm also happy because again, um, I'm not relying on this game. I'm lucky enough to have a job, right? So um, if if this turns into something that I can make a living off of, that's the goal. But also if it doesn't, and I only get like 5 people playing the game, if they like it, then that's even better. So that's that'd be great. Hey, Jenny Tokyo, welcome. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Um, and Rob, also, the questions are a good way. Sometimes, people ask me questions, they make me think about the project. So which is great because I don't want to be in a vacuum, right? I don't want to be just doing it the way I think of doing it, right? So people asking questions, they might, hey, I'm starting to question why did I do it that way? Let me try and change it and make it like this because that guy actually that guy's question made sense. So yeah. Jenny, have you been doing this level for a long time? Yeah, it's been a while. Let me put it this way. I think so this level is made out of a bunch of individual levels, like this area here where there's like this little like living area. And I'm sorry about the performance. I'm not sure. Like this particular area here has a lot of draw calls, and that's why it's performing pretty poorly at the moment. And this one's not optimized at all. And but yeah, so there's this little town area here, with like kind of just like a cul-de-sac. Yeah, the terrain still needs to be adjusted a little bit. Um, so, there's this little town area. There's all these are separate levels, like the warehouse. So all these separate levels I've brought into this one world, and I think I started working on this one. Plus, there's like a dam area here with like some like the interior of the dam. Let's see what else. There's like a cave area, this little facility area over here, which, once you play the game, it's going to be revealed a little bit more what's going on. And yeah, this particular landscape is a whole. It's base level basically. It's in like the main level. And yeah, there's like over here. I haven't loaded it in yet, but oh, actually I have. So over here there's like a mansion area with um, I'm not sure if this is like the processor or what it is, but so this mansion area with like its interior and um, there's like a lot of things to be fixed in here, but with its interior and there's a backstory to it. So as far as time, so now that I've shown you kind of all the pieces, there's like Lego pieces, right? So all the Lego pieces getting put together. I think putting everything together here maybe took me, um, I'm not sure, maybe about a month because I already had the levels, so it was just a matter of placing them and then sculpting the terrain, right? So now it's just about kind of adding like the fine details of, like the streets and everything that the player is going to be up close to. And that's the tedious part of this whole process, but it's also quite fun because you get to have some, results. And once you jump with the player, you see some interiors and some nice lighting and all that. It's, things are starting to, okay, I actually did something. And whenever you get that feeling, it's quite cool. But yeah, that hopefully that gives you an answer. All right. Well, as I was saying, what I wanted to finish off is this little foundation here. So I just want to place some kind of cubes with like a cinder block type of material, similar to, actually similar to what we've done, if you recall from some of the people that have been on the stream, what we've done for this particular house here. Because this one was also on a slope, so I wanted to have some way to transition onto here. And now that I'm looking at it, I actually want to inspect this real quick and grab some of these points because these are actually kind of cool to use. Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you, thank you. And thank you, Khan. Thank you, Jenny. And as you can see, like all these levels, depending on how many actors, I believe that's a major factor in it. Depending on how many actors are in this level, and I think this one has in the 10,000 plus. It might take a little longer to open. So what I wanted to get is I wanted to get this one, so this particular concrete beam, and then one of these. So this one's called cinder block, but it's actually a broken window wall, and that's what I wanted to look at. I'm actually just gonna type them down real quick so that way I know what to search for. And I think broken window wall. And then this one, I've already looked it up, so it's a concrete ceiling beam, and then this little piece. And this is a catwalk support reinforced. Yeah. How much memory does it take up on your PC? So this project right now, it's actually way bigger than what it's supposed to be because it has like a lot of a lot of parts that I'm not using. And that's something that I want to clean up and maybe show in a later stream what I like the process that I use to, clean up my thing. And right now, the way it is, I think it's about 100 gigs, so 100 GB. But like I said, take into account, or maybe a little more, but take into account that once the project is packed, so like once I build the project itself, and right now I pretty much have everything in it. I think when it's about 18 gigs. So the game itself, so once the game is packaged, it's about 18 between 18 and 20 gigs, and that's with not a lot of optimization when it comes to like texture size um, and probably using quite a few things that maybe I shouldn't, or that might not have a need. All right, so let's get this here, and as soon as this is unloading, there we go. Let's jump back into the town area over here and kind of add those pieces in and see how this is gonna turn out for the bottom here. So I kind of have this little piece, and then let's see, it's called a broken window wall. Yes, the con, I um, you're totally right. It's um, if you don't have patience, it's gonna be pretty tough. Um, after a while, I have to be honest with you. After a while, it's not as difficult. But um, and this is also, I'm used to things, so I've been using Unreal for quite some time, so I'm getting comfortable with it. But if you're just getting started, in the beginning it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You know, I don't want you to have any um, to not get into it without understanding that it's going to take time in the beginning. But yeah, if you're patient and you just keep at it, oh, for sure, you can do this stuff, no trouble. Like I said, you just have to be, you have to be patient and kind of, give yourself the time to learn it because, uh, think of if you're in school and such, think of that. It takes time to learn math, right? It takes time to do physics or anything like that. And if you're patient, um, you're gonna get it done. Trust me. But yeah, the main thing is just being patient. And asking people, like I think when it comes to learning, you're not going to find all the answers maybe on yeah, there's YouTube is a great resource. Like I highly recommend, that some of the tutorials that people put out on YouTube. They're they're amazing. I've learned quite a lot from it myself, and I still do. So, um, but um, but just be patient. Oh, sorry about that, Khan. Maybe yeah, I'm actually thinking, Khan, if after so the stream is gonna get saved, which um, which I um, which I like on YouTube. So if you want to check it out, once because I'm gonna get I'm getting ready to end the stream anyways. I just wanted to add these small pieces in here. But if I'm curious, if you look at the stream afterwards, if the auto-generated subtitles are gonna be working. Hopefully they are. So, like how YouTube has the auto-generated subtitles, I'm wondering if they're gonna be put on these live streams as well, because that'd be cool. So that way you can use the Turkish subtitles. Okay, I think this turned out okay. I just need to make some fine adjustments around there, but this is a decent looking basement for this building. Like right back there. Okay. I am okay with this and everything that we've done today, guys. And Jenny, yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully, you'll find something useful in there. Like I said, there's some tutorials, maybe not a lot of, like the bigger channels, they do like a series of tutorials, like, how to make a shooter game or how to make, like a 3D game. So those are worth watching, like some of those videos. And if you find like a good series, that's always good to check it out while you're learning. All right, well, I am thrilled that this stream worked out pretty good, especially that I'm not at home. So thank you all for stopping by. I hope to see you. So I won't see you next week, but the week after that. And everybody doing Christmas, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you right before New Year's. So, okay. Um, Thank you all so much for stopping by, and we can chat some more on Discord. And like I said, Dekan, see if you can join. And like I said, maybe I'll connect you with the my Turkish friend that I think he still does game development, and I think he is using Unreal. So, okay, guys, have a good night or a good evening, and good morning as well, if anybody's in the morning. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. All right, take care, everybody. Good night.